And if the court will be fighting people who disagree with their judgments, then they have gone beyond the realms of human beings. And so it is a very serious danger that after listing the number of cases he has brought up and the flimsy excuses for trying to throw away the cases, he had to conclude by saying that it will not be long. The posture of our judiciary, that a murderer or an armed robber one day can apply for an injunction to stop you from further investigations, and the court will grant it. That is the verdict we have passed.
You see, that is why I thought that our friend and brother Kisi Jabi should have borrowed a leaf long from Martin Amidu. If you don't know death, they say look at sleep. You see, if your brother was caught by a Hannah and venturing into the forest and you are venturing, you yourself, get ready.
Their own people told us. OSP today is crying. What should we do for him? When Martin Amidu said president is the mother serpent of corruption, didn't he hear it? What is good for the goose is good for the gander. He heard that, yet when he was called to come for the appointment, he quickly rushed and went to take the appointment. Now he can do it better. What is stopping him from doing the work? Who is preventing him from doing his work? Why is he crying to us? What should we do for him? He should go and investigate all these and bring closure to the matter. It is not about coming to look for public sympathy and coming to say, as if he's coming to cry on us. Or we don't care about that. We want results. Senna, I won't also waste much time on this matter. When you have been given a job to do, do it. We want results. We don't want complaints. No results. If you feel like now where you have gotten to, you cannot proceed anymore, why don't you resign? Why are you still there?
I have no idea how to resolve this problem. The only thing that we can do now, as members of the Ghanaian society and so on, is to wish him well and to give him all the support that we can give in his crusade against corruption and hope that he wins. The fundamental law does not even give him enough room to operate. You understand? And if we want to establish an office of a special prosecutor, I think that we need to establish it well. What we have done is a sham, and it's a victim of the sham which we created from the very beginning.
Whenever I say my PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
You were till for a PENDREAM TV in Pacho. When you say the news not all from an eddy bro. News say Obabeti in Pacho, so I didn't want to Trebi and as I didn't Trefa. News be I present your platform where you saw for your voice note not for sending it. I was 0277 128 777. The debate 2 PENDREAM FM so Magana phone in Ationka. Young call Nyanko T and a story eddy bro.
This the highest you can get is 10 minutes on the matter of the special prosecutor.
I would even want to have even cut down that one and add my time to the last one.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to be very brief.
Yeah.
The Palestinian issue,
Yeah.
the Gaza. Yeah. Senna, you see, I said it from the very beginning, and that's the summary. When you make the Hannah the caretaker of your crowd, you should not expect to come and see one animal alive because of his insatiable appetite for fresh meat. And we said it long ago, when Ghanaians decide to make this crop of people our leaders, they will raid the national treasury. So it's not a wonder today that we have not only empty coffers, but like it's unconscionable to see a governor of a Bank of Ghana giving independence, Senna, to protect our currency. to work towards ensuring inflation is at a distance, printing 77 billion Ghana cedis to give to government free. And it is done so unlawfully, so patently. And that you see that Nana Akufo-Addo is light years away from President Mahama in the anti-corruption drive. No wonder the anti-corruption index by Transparency International, the worst under President Mahama is the best under Nana Akufo-Addo. So, fast forward. After Martin Amidu wanted to go after his own people, starting from Osafumafu. I'm sure you know about the Crow and Associates $1 million. After which, when he was coming after Ken Ofori-Atta himself on this Ejapa and other things. Ejapa is one of the instruments for the grabbing of this nation's wealth by the Nana Akufo-Addo, his Achim Mafia, and all those other people in government today. His family and friends and accomplices and concubines, all of them, that tall list. Okay? So when he wanted to go on this pedestal to bring down that citadel of corruption, clearly he drew the line. You can't touch this. Are my anointed. Oh, sorry, at the risk of charging me for assault. I beg you, it wasn't intended. The mens rea is not there. I didn't intend to assault you. I was just overzealous in making a point. So these are my anointed people. Thou shalt not touch them. So a line has been drawn where the Office of Special Prosecutor has seen massive corruption, theft of state resources, abuse of power. He wants to go there. He say, Master, I didn't bring you in to come after my people. The line was drawn. And every obstacle was placed. I'm sure you even saw, you heard what Martin Amidu said, that the first place they went and kept him in a hen coop. A very tiny office where even he can't have space for he and his staff to work. And they were staff of resources. In fact, I remember when it was built, the 128 or something that they voted million for this, and at the end, there's a difference between what you are allocated for in the budget and what is actually released to you. The releases were just less than 10 to 12%. So the resources that were required for the special prosecutor to do his work were not even available. They frustrated him in as into the physical gross interference in the work of the special prosecutor. So no wonder. You see, that is why I thought that our friend and brother Kisi Jabi should have borrowed a leaf long from Martin Amidu. If you don't know death, they say look at sleep. You see, if your brother was caught by a hyena and venturing into the forest and you are venturing, you yourself get ready. So you have borrowed a leaf to know how Martin Amidu was stopped from doing his work as special prosecutor. And know that if he also ventures into that same way, he will get it. And if the lesson was clear enough, when he started with Cecilia Dapa, look at what has happened. Look at what has happened. That this government has at its disposal an array of institutions and powers and others they can use to frustrate you. So I don't want to pass any judgment on the lamentations he's had about the judiciary and others, even to the point that you can say one day an armed robber or a killer can go and get an injunction or something to stop people from venturing. But it's a product of the frustrations he's feeling, of obstacles being placed in his path, in his bid to do his work. I know and admit that as an institution of state is bound by the law. But clearly, some of those things don't constitute building blocks in our bid to fight the corruption in this country. And so I just said I just wanted to touch it on a bit. And it ends with the issue of the non-commitment of the government to fight corruption. They have no iota.
But 10 minutes is up.
Oh, I spoke for only 3 minutes. I'm sending the 7 minutes to the other.
10 minutes is up.
Oh,
yeah, 10 minutes.
This one, I'm not working more than 5 minutes. I was sending the other. So my next listen, I will add my 5 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Comrade Monah.
I will like not to spend as much time as the Honorable A.B.A. I honestly think that the special prosecutor has raised many pointers of danger and of doom to our nation state, and in particular the workings of the judiciary. For someone who has been a lawyer for several years, for someone who has been a teacher of the law, for someone who has been elevated, and in teaching the law he might have actually taught some of the judges that we have today, to say that senior members of the law told him before today that the manner in which he was going with his work, he was likely to suffer a gang up by the courts to dismiss his cases and to render his office impotent. And he says it in the open as it is. Smacks of danger. Very, very big danger. That our judiciary, that we have all believed, that at instances they don't live up to expectations. But today they can gang up against institutions that are purported to be fighting corruption in our society. What is the fear of the courts? Is it a case to suggest that some ones within the bench are corrupt and they fear that the special prosecutor could catch up with them? And therefore, let's fight him before he can get to us. And the special prosecutor uses an approach that I think Kwame Nkrumah spoke about several years ago, that the best way to fight corruption is to expose it, is to name and to shame. So everything that the special prosecutor's office is engaged in, you see that they let the whole nation know that, look, this matter has come before us, we are doing this, we are doing these investigations. They try to update. They try to argue whether a case determined by a court is with merit or without merit. They don't say they disagree, but that is the law. And if the court will be fighting people who disagree with their judgments, then they have gone beyond the realms of human beings. And so it is a very serious danger that after listing the number of cases he has brought up and the flimsy excuses for trying to throw away the cases, he had to conclude by saying that it will not be long. The posture of our judiciary, that a murderer or an armed robber one day can apply for an injunction to stop you from further investigations, and the court will grant it. That is the verdict we have passed. But like I said, I hold no tear for the special prosecutor. And I don't know why he believed that from the day he was appointed and commissioned into office, that the appointor really meant that he should come and fight corruption. I don't know how he came about that belief. Because before he came into office, he had seen instances where over 5 million liters of contaminated oil were sold to companies. Were they even a company? To somebody who did not have a registered company. And state procurement goes through a certain record. Moving Pina was not registered by the Registrar General. It will not have a tax clearance certificate. It will not obtain a SNCC clearance. It was given a job. The head of that institution will later be qualified and go and contest and come to Parliament and be sitting with you. And later will tell us that he used so much money to win his primaries, and that he has touched dollars to go back, to go and win. We are sitting down here. We are still seeing, not me saying, Kennedy Ajapon said it, many people said it. Today, some business persons are saying that former deputy chief of staffs were demanding what Kennedy Ajapon told us, $20,000 and what have you, in order that they can see president. And the president comes to clear them. We saw the Australia visa scandal. The scandal is still hanging on the people of Ghana, and yet there is no culprit. Those that the president said has suspended, they have been reinstated and promoted to other institutions. So if these things are happening, and Kisi Ajaben expected the mother serpent of corruption to fight corruption, I say that if you are the mother serpent of corruption, your duty is to produce more baby corrupt officials, and that is all that is happening.
Thank you. This Abbas Omogobo Offenso says this Akufo-Addo government is all about scam. They continue to lie and impound hardship on the good people of Ghana. That's Abbas Omogobo in Offenso. There's Edmond Aka from the UK who says, Senna, good morning and thanks for your dedicated job on educating Ghanaians with real facts on economic issues facing Mother Ghana. However, can you inform your panelists not to refer to Dr. Bawah as an economic wizkid? Whether Dr. Bawah must refer to as economic Oliver Twist or as economic Sakawa doctor. Well, so that's coming from Edmond Aka, who sent that from the UK. Nana.
Sana, I watched the OSP's video when he was speaking, and I felt really sad about it. I felt sad for him, and I felt so sad for our country, Ghana. I think our president said sometime before he took office that he will use the analysis principle to unequivocally fight corruption. And so, based on that, the Special Prosecutor's Office was formed. And the functions of the Special Prosecutor, I went onto their website and I read, it says that the OSP is tasked with investigating specific cases of alleged or suspected corruption or corruption-related offenses involving public officers and persons who have been entrusted with prominent public functions in Ghana. This is what is on their website. Now, when you look at it from outside politics, when you are employed in a company and you are given tasks and duties to perform, and along the line you realize that the major shareholders, because in every company there are shareholders, and we have the management team. Now the management team runs on daily basis, they run the affairs of the company. And so if your shareholder always interferes in your business by calling you, Sen, have you put this here? Have you done this? Have you done this? You will realize that you will not be effective as you must be. And so when we bring it to this Special Prosecutor's case, I think his employer is the President of the Republic of Ghana. And what the Special Prosecutor is telling us is that he said it in Chi. He said, Obeye di obe to me. Nimbre swan. No ko. So now I can't imagine you telling your boss that as it is now, I am not able to function. Meye di ame to me. Nimbre swan me ko. And the next month you receive your salary. And he will tell you, no problem. So now go and sit down, wait. When your time is near, then you go, and he will continue paying you benefits, paying you salary, and still be nice to you. I mean, I don't see the sense in this. Once the Special Prosecutor is finding difficulty in doing his job, what is his employer saying about it? What is his employer saying about it? Now, when I visited their website again, I took notes of all the cases they say they are investigating. And this is on their website. They say they have Charles Edu Boahin's case there. Customs Division of Ghana Revenue Authority too. I hear their case is also there. Declaration of property and income. That is our own mother, Cecilia Dapa. Her case is also there. Electricity Company of Ghana, on their website, they said they have a problem with it. There. Estate of Kojo Owusu Efriye. You remember Sir John? His case is also under investigations there. Joabin, MCE nominee, he's also there. Gaming Commission of Ghana, they are also there. Ghana Police Service, I hear they are also there. Now, illegal mining. Professor Frimpong Boateng, when he brought the documents, wrote a report, a beautiful report, to tell us how the our water bodies are being destroyed, to tell us how those in government are not fighting Galamsey as promised. They came out to tell us that it has no basis enough for investigations, but it's still there. We are waiting for the report from them. We need to know the outcome. They said Northern Development Authority is also there. National Sports Authority, I hear you are also at the National Prosecutor's Office. Rice scandal. Wealthy businessman, I don't know who that businessman is, but I hear there's some wealthy businessman whose case is also there. The question I want to ask, the special... Sorry?
The one who went to Parliament to stop the MPP.
Oh, okay. He is the wealthy businessman. What's his name?
We don't know.
We don't know his name. Okay. So what I want to ask the special prosecutor, will he bring closure to all these matters before Nimreni Besun Obeko? Or what is he trying to tell us? That when it's time, he will leave all these investigations for another special prosecutor to come and take over and investigate. Then he has collected all his salary and all the things he has collected for what? I mean, can we be result oriented? We have to be result oriented. When you are the special prosecutor, you have all these investigations to do. I don't think he's brought closure to any of these I've mentioned. And you are telling us that will you go with leaving this for another special prosecutor to come and start all over the processes again? That is why I tell you that this MPP government is just joking. They are just joking with us. They don't take us seriously. They can't be bothered. How will you come and say this and still go ahead on Monday, go to work and collect salary and work as any normal person? I find that ridiculous.
No, the house has fallen. You are bothering yourself to ask whether the roof is still standing.
The house has fallen, but the roof too has fallen. So say MPP is a collapsed party.
Oh.
They're a collapsed party. And I always say that they're a bunch of confused people. They don't seem to be focused. They are not result oriented. When it comes to critical thinking, they are not applying any critical thinking in anything. They're just doing things haphazardly. A lot of people in NPP have come out to condemn them. Our own Kennedy Japan during their primaries. What didn't he say about the NPP? He says they loot money and go and save it somewhere outside the country.
I see there's no tomorrow.
I say there's no tomorrow. I say there's no tomorrow. Kennedy Japan said it. I'm not saying it. He said we shouldn't consider Bawah, and that when Bawah comes to power.
It's a third term for the now.
Ajay. We are not saying it. Alaja, we the ones saying it. We are not the ones saying it. Those within are saying it. And so, during their primaries, all the delegates, all the contestants that competed with Alhaji Mahmood Bawumia told the entire country that he doesn't have any credibility, that he's not credible, that he has driven us into a deep ditch. To get out of that ditch, you need a serious-minded person. For us to get out of that ditch, we need a focused, a nation builder, a visionary leader. That is what we need. Otherwise, we'll remain in that ditch forever. Their own people told us. OSP today is crying. What should we do for him? When Martin Amidu said president is the mother serpent of corruption, didn't he hear it? What is good for the goose is good for the gander. He heard that. Yet when he was called to come for the appointment, he quickly rushed and went to take the appointment. Now he can do it better. What is stopping him from doing the work? Who is preventing him from doing his work? Why is he crying to us? What should we do for him? He should go and investigate all these and bring closure to the matter. It is not about coming to look for public sympathy and coming to say, may they are made as if he's coming to cry on us. Or we don't care about that. We want results. Senna, I won't also waste much time on this matter. When you have been given a job to do it. We want results. We don't want complaints. No results. If you feel like now where you have gotten to, you cannot proceed anymore, why don't you resign? Why are you still there? You have to resign and go back home, pack your bags and things and say, okay, bye bye, like Martin Amidu left, right? And say, me too, I can't do so, and leave. Is it by force? Who is forcing you to be there and be crying to us? We are not interested in his tears. We are interested in him bringing closure to the matters. That is all I have to say. In conclusion, let me conclude. MPP is not fighting any corruption.
Corruption is fighting them.
Corruption is fighting them. Corruption has beaten them. Fala. They are now even confused that the corruption has even beaten them. They can't see their way forward. This is so pathetic. This is so sad. This is not right. Ghanaians need better services. Ghanaians need better conditions. Ghanaians need this corruption to end. You can't come and joke with 31 million Ghanaians. They are a bunch of jokers. 2024, they will be voted out of power.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Papa BC in Accra says, what's the score of Nanado's government? 0 on corruption, 0 first special prosecutor. Martin Amidu, appointed by Nanado, says the president who gave him that role is seriously the mother serpent of all corruption. He resigned. The president shamefully appointed another person, Kisei Jabing, and he also says MPP government is not helping him to fight corruption. On that note, he is now confused and therefore sees himself alone and summarized the whole situation in the country as doom under Nanado's MPP government. Mr. Pratt?
Well, I think it's important to go back to the very beginning. The Office of Special Prosecutor was established in order to insulate public prosecutions from political power. The whole purpose of establishing the Office of Special Prosecutor was to ensure that when corruption cases were being investigated and prosecuted, they did not look like a witch hunt. That was the purpose. But we made a fundamental mistake from the very beginning. And we pointed out this error, and nobody was ready to listen. The powers of prosecution are vested only in the Attorney General.
Yes.
Okay. I know that by some arrangement now the police does some prosecution. Yoko, or whatever it's called now, also does some prosecution. And the special prosecutor also does some prosecution. But the power of prosecution is vested in the Attorney General. So you have a situation where you have actually appointed a special prosecutor, and yet the investigation of corruption and corruption-related matters and their prosecution do not lie in his bosom alone. There have been instances where he's investigating matters and the CID is investigating the same matters and so on. So unless we cure that fundamental problem, I do not think that we can expect magic, from the Office of the Special Prosecutor. What we needed to do was to amend the Constitution which vested the power of prosecution in the Attorney General alone. But we failed to do that, and these are some of the consequences of that omission. On Thursday, I said that I had some privileged information which I was not ready to disclose yet. And I don't think that I'm still ready to disclose. But what the special prosecutor disclosed would appear to be just the tip of the iceberg. The special prosecutor appears to be under tremendous pressure. Perhaps what he's facing, none of us can face and still carry on. And I think that he should be highly commended for still wanting to do his job. His steadfastness is commendable, highly commendable, if all the facts were available. And I'll give you a few. Now, last Thursday, Alhaji Inusa Fuseini, former member of parliament and minister, actually indicated that the special prosecutor has to go around with bodyguards, and that is a serious indication of the state in which he is. Now, I would want to add that he doesn't only have to go around with bodyguards. Sometimes he's compelled to move around Accra in an armored plated vehicle.
Wow. Special prosecutor.
Yes.
So we have a problem. Yes. And I have no idea how to resolve this problem. The only thing that we can do now, as members of the Ghanaian society and so on, is to wish him well and to give him all the support that we can give in his crusade against corruption, and hope that he wins. The fundamental law does not even give him enough room to operate. You understand? And if we want to establish an office of a special prosecutor, I think that we need to establish it well. What we have done is a sham, and it's a victim of the sham which we created from the very beginning.
Story OTCC a platform my friend PENDREAM TV and I OT story no na o feedback we here and story what you know any story be our platform no so be what ya o pese o my feedback no fafa WhatsApp message or WhatsApp number 0277128777 na ye be bo e wo PENDREAM FM Ghana for nyina ate won ka
David Kama amena PENDREAM TV ase na so far so good say open online portal e wo Ghana nipa share nipa follow nipa comment here to my best of knowledge without any biases PENDREAM TV.